Let's call to order the special meeting of the City Council. Rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm gonna have to start going a little faster on the, where's my agenda, Jim? I don't even have an agenda.
This is your agenda.
There you are. Okay, roll call, Ms. Shuck?
Yes, sir. Mayor Dale Masad,
Here.
Vice Mayor Terrence Rowe,
Here.
Councilwoman Nancy Britton, Councilwoman Jenny Sorrell, here, Councilman William Dittmer,
Here.
and Interim City Manager Jim Matthew.
Here.
Okay, we have any announcements from staff?
No.
Okay, comments from the general public? Comments from the mayor and city council? All right, that gets down to city attorney position, page 2. Discussion and action as deemed appropriate by the council. I can speak, but does anyone else want to talk to this?
Well, I was just wondering what the process was. Is it, we do it like we do for a
Yeah,
city manager? Or how's it done?
I'll explain. No, it's kind of different. It's a professional, so it's kind of like the engineering group. You just hire them, and in other words, you just make a motion to have him as the city attorney, and I go through what the rate is of, same as Joe Pavlik, and since it's professional, you can terminate it at any time. You understand what I mean? It's not it's no, super majority vote or anything. It's just like no different than hiring an engineer.
Okay.
Well, I'll start because I can't vote. I've worked with Mr. Matthew, who I would prefer on several councils. It's nice to have somebody that lives in the city that knows the charter. And Jim knows the charter, and oftentimes I go to him. That would be my suggestion, that we move him into the interim. Is this interim or full-time?
But my intention is to just cover for the city attorney until such time as I'm no longer the city manager, because while I'm here, I can do the city attorney stuff, so.
Can we move you straight to the
Yeah,
full-time city
yeah,
attorney?
yes, you can, but I'm just not gonna charge the city till I'm no longer sitting in this
And that's
chair.
the bargain.
Yeah, it's.
So we got 2 for 1 and no charge for 2. Anyone else have thoughts? Anyone want to put it out to bid?
It seems quite a long process for a private sector type person. I mean, when you put out for bid, or you just put an employment type?
If you were doing it, and you wanted to put out, you wouldn't go out for bid, you just put an ad in the paper. Pretty much, you just put an ad in the paper.
Put an ad, kind of like we're
People
doing
show
for the
up
city
and go,
manager. Yeah.
Right.
So then you're 60 days out and you take,
And in my understanding then, Jim, is you would be interested in the position?
Oh, yes, I'd
after the
really
city
like
manager?
to, yeah.
Okay.
I've done it before. To be perfectly honest, the thing I would look forward to doing, I've done it before, so it's not like it's a complicated thing. It's a lot less work than being the city manager. I'm doing 20 hours a week, then it's generally about 20 hours a month. The city, in my opinion, over the past 6 or 7 years, has lost some institutional knowledge. Do you understand what I mean? In terms, and the staff they'll admit to that. And certain things need to be looked at, in terms of the boards and the clerk's office, and some training needs to be done, getting that done. And generally, city attorneys help in doing those kind of things. So that's what I kind of look forward to doing more than anything else. There's no major litigation in the city right now, none from what I understand.
I might add, the city attorney is the guy that you look to when you have a question about the charter. Joe Pavlik's a great guy, great attorney, I'm sure, but it's hard to learn Zephyr Hills, Newport Ritchie, and Port Ritchie's charters and come up with it off your head. This man, I can tell you, can do that. So, Mr. Rowe?
Just for clarification, you do this at the same time you're doing the city manager?
Yeah, I did that last time. I can sit as a city attorney until such time as you get a city manager, sure.
Okay, would you be interested after that for the long run?
As the city manager?
No.
The
as
city attorney, yes, yeah. Oh, I'd like to do it as a city attorney, yeah, that's why we're sitting here.
I have no problem. I think that's a great idea.
And I think is the most proper is save us ourselves the advertising, the length of time, and just appoint Jim as the city manager. Again, I cannot, city attorney, again, I cannot vote. And I don't know if Nancy will, so it's,
I can't vote either, really.
You don't have to vote. And just so everybody understands, it's $115 an hour, which is what Mr. Pavlik did. It was actually cheaper than I used to get paid when I was here 7 years ago, but for the first 14 hours or whatever, it'd be the same contract.
okay, same contract, terminate at will. Any other questions?
No, I think it's a good idea. I think Jim knows the system, and he's been here, he knows the people.
It is very nice to get a quick answer to a question.
Yeah, that would be a really nice thing, that's for sure.
So I need a motion to move Jim to
Now, I'll make-
permanent city attorney, or if you want to go to
Well, it'll be
the
an interim until we have a,
interim flowing into
Yeah.
attorney.
Okay.
So we get a BOGO up until then.
yeah.
What's that?
So we've got a BOGO up until then,
Well, you
right?
got 30, 60 days of Jim. If you don't like him, you terminate him and go to
No, I like a BOGO.
the
A
what?
BOGO, buy one, get one free.
We got it.
Right, that's what she's saying.
I'll make the motion then to have Jim Mathau as our interim city attorney.
Well, you don't want to go let it,
I'll second that.
all right?
Mhm.
So you want to go to the next and then,
No, he said he'll do that until we find it, and then at that point, we can make him permanent
You
city
can
attorney.
do that. You can just make me the city attorney now.
You can make him
You
the
understand what I
But we're
mean?
just
You
not
can-
gonna be paying you as a city
I'm
attorney.
just not gonna charge you
I'll-
until, I can't sit here
Okay.
and charge you twice, or,
I
there's
would-
gonna be ordinances already that we're putting together. I'm gonna sit in that room and charge you twice, yeah, so.
well, my point is, if you make him the city attorney, we save going through all the other things, unless you want another meeting to make him a city attorney, but you're covered. If you don't like him, fire him and go through the mess.
I was under the impression, because he was acting as the city manager, that it was interim on both sides. If we can just go straight,
Yeah, you could do, yeah.
oh, we can go straight. I will revoke my motion and revise it to, that we take Jim Mathau as our city attorney.
Okay, have a motion to take Jim Matthew as city
And I'll go ahead
attorney.
and second that motion.
Got a second. Any discussion, public? See, you got a few in the back that are good. Back to council. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't vote.
Councilwoman Britton, I will give you a voting conflict form. I'll send it in your email.
Okay, and that looks like,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
that's it.
Um,
You deserve that.
thank you.
You also.
Just in terms of, since I have nothing else to say legally, Mr. Pavlik, his last official duty was to do the marijuana ordinance. He did that in the last hour, right? So that's ready to go for reading Tuesday. And we have 2 new ordinances that are going to be on the next month. We're going to refinance our bonds, hopefully, and I'll discuss that, but those ordinances are ready.
That does bring up a question. What did he do, a compilation of various decriminalizations, and he didn't do the ordinance? or
Yeah, he did, a draft. Yeah, in case you're curious, he did the draft ordinance. That's what you asked him to do. There's only 2 open issues. So I'm telling you this because Joe asked me. There's 2 open issues, is the amount of the fine. He made it a class 1, which is $155. I'll bring to you, if you want to make it less for some reason, I'll bring you, you can change that, obviously. You're not reading it, you're just deciding. And the other was what age you want it. He put it at 18, and and above it's decriminalized, you might want to make it nothing, you want to make it 12, 16, that's something you need to decide, you could think about between now and Tuesday.
And,
Yeah, it'd be 21 personal.
well, Jim, I don't know what we put the fine at. What do you do with a 18 or a 15? And can I make
That'd be
this a
the-
little
would be
bit
the
of a...
same
You could discuss it, yeah, I mean, you know,
Would it be the
it's
same
illegal.
thing with a 15-year-old drinking alcohol?
Well, I think it would be the same thing from a legal standpoint, but from a medical standpoint, kids under 20 smoking marijuana do cause some permanent brain changes. And so I don't want the kids to think, oh, well, I'll just get a fine.
That's why I said 20.
Yeah.
Right, but that isn't gonna stop them from smoking it, so if they smoke it,
No ordinance is gonna stop it.
what happens to a
Yeah,
15-year-old,
nothing's gonna stop 'em.
chief?
They would be charged criminally, sir. And
They
then they
would?
would, yeah. And then they would go through someone like Jim, who would put them in counseling or something, you know, to get them out of the criminal system in the first time. They don't normally get a record and stay as long as they're first-time offenders.
Would that be the same if they were caught drinking alcohol under the age of 21?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any diversion programs for young kids smoking pot?
Yeah, it's that program, I actually sit for that program, I'm the judge in that program, scary as that may be.
Is it,
Yeah, as long as they didn't do something crazy and tick off the cop or something, they put into a diversionary program, and they send them over to, technically, it's arbitration, where we sentence them, okay? And a lot of the people that the chief arrests, I sentence, and, you know, community service, those kind of things. That's generally what happens, right?
Well, Garen Angel's very good at this. He could probably tell you more about it, but there are changes in the hippocampus, which is a part of the brain that you don't need to know what it is, it's there. And white matter, I'd just like to see something, maybe we could even do it within this city, a small, there's not that many, but a small kind of, I could do it if you wanted me to. I just have to read on it up about, you know, what the changes are, what the effects are. If you smoke it under, I think the age is 20, 21. And I really am more worried about kids than I am older people. Is that a possible thing we could do?
You mean, put something in the ordinance that?
No, but put something in later that they have to attend, and I'll still get my $320 whenever I get.
Might be a little difficult to put in the ordinance a program, because then you'd have to fund that program in some fashion. In other words, right now, we have a schedule of fines for code violations. Do you understand what I mean? To get into having a program for code violations, I have to research that, but that might be impossible. Do you understand? Because all we're doing is giving them a ticket like they didn't cut their lawn. We're just giving them a ticket. That's what they're getting, you know what I mean? To start a program instead of a ticket would be,
Well, no, they pay the ticket, but the ticket puts them automatically in the diversion program.
they can't do that. The program is just for when they're criminally charged. It won't, there's no way to go from a ticket for marijuana into the county program, that I can tell you.
Well, we make it a $250 ticket, or
You can make it a $250 ticket, it's not gonna change the fact that the
Or
county's
they
not
have to-
gonna, accept from a code violation into the program. I'll ask them when I'm there, it's an interesting thing they might wanna think of doing.
and it's really not a huge amount of study or work if I did it or anyone did it.
Did what?
A few lectures on what happens to your brain when you smoke it too young.
I guess it's more of a technical sense in that right now we're a municipality that fines people for code violations, okay? We don't imprison them, forcing them into programs is,
Well, we could send them a letter to,
those kind of things, we could talk about that.
Parents, yeah, okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I could put, you're gonna discuss it and decide whether you want the ordinance on Tuesday, next Tuesday, so you could talk about that, give that some thought. You know, maybe we could send a letter with it or something with the code violation. I don't see a problem with that.
Are you gonna go over
The ordinance is very short. You'll see it with the agenda that you'll get on Thursday. It's similar to the Tampa one.
and then we'll.
Get caught with marijuana, it's a $155 fine if you're, you know, over 18. And then it'll be up to the police whether they want to charge for that or bring a criminal charge. And Chief, I don't know if it was you or last time saying generally you don't unless there's other associated criminal, criminal behavior or something. Is that generally what you do?
That's correct, sir. The other thing, when you're considering the fines, remember, like with ours, I think the first is $155, but then the county charges $13. Other agencies are as low as $75, and then they go up double, then triple.
I'll give you the schedule of our fines so you can pick in case you don't want 155. It'll be in the agenda.
Okay. We're done, right?
Take a break to 7 o'clock. Can't start till 7.
Oh, man,
Now
I'll be
you're
here
early.
by 7:10.
But it's a budget workshop. You got to do it exact, you know.
Okay. Well, this is my agenda.
I have to get
Pat,
some.
did you have, I know what you need, and I think I just threw away my agenda. This is, Jim, where's the agenda for this?
What's that?
This is,
Well, yeah, you can mine. It's nothing but a budget workshop, just the same here, 7 o'clock.
right, perfect.
Yeah, I gotta grab some out of my room. Look at the impact fees for having else work. Nice number.
Pat,
Kinda like that, right?
Pat,
And that includes.
did you get a chance to go by there?
That includes the fees for the building official. You got that right.
He knows.
Well, you know why? They gotta put in big pipes.
Okay, I wrote an email to, the people on Limestone. Well, I shouldn't have put it in print, but I said, maybe you ought to think of forgiveness rather than permission. So, see, I think they want us to fill it out, right? They want us to fill it out. We cannot.
The problem
It's just that
good.
I came from Homerton Road.
Are we about golfing again?
No, I was picking up my golf club. They measured me, they did every day, it was all profit. A lot of money. So, it kind of makes me question the
Yeah.
I would
They
say
got
so.
it fixed.
So I'm next on the
I'm gonna
job
buy
market.
a golf club and go.
You're losing.
But he's up there right now. We talked to our realtor about it, and he called the one that she recommended, and she doesn't want to do the city. Our stuff is in the city, and she wants her stuff is outside of it.
Ladies have the same
So
problem.
now
But if you got a
we're
hazard.
looking around to see if we can
Well,
go with something like that, because
I know one left. and-
right now,
and
anything
then
goes
one's
wrong,
going to
he has
India all
to
the
take
time.
plane and fly up there. And he's
Got-
just,
Stuff on Friday. And so now they're trying to jockey one in on Wednesday
yeah,
so
well,
that
he's
they're not off,
really, really not
2
happy
days
about
during
it,
the
believe me,
week.
this time he's not happy.
Is the area?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know
we are.
what the
That's
problem
whole
is.
point. Right
It
now,
seems to me that
Healthcare's
doctors,
getting really bad.
Tired. This is
Everything in the past, like.
last hurrah, so to speak, and then he wants to get the best he can out of it right now.
They pay a lot. The government's finally getting.
Well, yeah, we
smart,
could, and
which they
then,
should.
the thing is, yeah, then it would be,
A lot of the
and we've thought
HMOs,
about that, too. We've thought about that.
Because
there's still- still-
I mean, they're denying care.
Oh, not just that.
You get sick, you have cancer, they're only giving you so much, and I literally know this is a fact, because I have sat in doctor's offices,
I mean, you know, they just like, anyway,
and
you know.
primary care physicians
He's
say,
got to.
well, if a patient's a certain age,
But right now, he's up there.
I don't
He
think
was
we should
supposed
go
to
there
have
with any
that
other
Saturday,
care.
but because he ran into some difficulties.
You better keep yourself damn healthy.
Because of the plumbing
You wanna
thing.
live
Well,
to be anything
guess what? He replaced the section.
I'll tell you, the more that goes on,
The other section in there.
more
They
dissatisfied.
had to dig up the
That's
same
Harris
base,
realizing
put it in
that
and all that.
with Obamacare,
He was totally unhappy.
this Obamacare caused so many issues because he's demanding so much of the insurance companies. They can't do it.
Pat?
What if you had a rider policy like Social Security?
Well, oh, if you have a cancer policy? Yeah. Me too.
So he's supposed to go back and try to rush into that.
I'm still trying to decide whether or not I wanna get
Where are we going up?
It just says right up there.
The whole thing?
That's what we're gonna ask them.
you know, they got more
So I don't know, that was,
Is it the whole city?
no, I thought it was Westport.
Everything is like it was
Oh, sure, oh, you better know.
Yeah.
I'll be,
Well, I'm all, I really feel sorry for people. It's just impossible. You know, people just have a job their entire life. They get plan their whole year around it, and know how they were gonna do, and when they could buy a car and save up for that. Anymore, it's, oh, well, that.
Well, they put boil water Port Richey, I'm like, great, the whole city's under boil water.
It is Westport, right? It's Westport, right? Okay. Right.
about 4 weeks after I decided to buy the land, that's when they told me that.
That's what I thought. I'm gonna say, you got one in the city limits you didn't tell me? I mean, you gotta remember, I get that information in 10 seconds.
Yeah, you do.
You know,